Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is October the 25th of 2022. The days just keep right on moving, don't they? Um, Today we're going to read Isaiah 57. And I don't have too much else to say, current events wise or anything I could point out. It's still just going right along. Again, the only reason I'm recording is because I didn't get approved for overtime this week, but whatever. It gives us a chance to be able to read the Bible, which is always better than any overtime. Absolutely. I've been having really vivid dreams again, and I definitely need to pray to the Father and ask Him what the meaning of some of these dreams are. Seems like there's a lot of them where I'm either working in a factory or packing things or just doing work. I don't know. I'll have to ask him about that. But yeah, I have nothing else really. Weird things happening to some of my social. What are they called? Social media. Holy crap. I couldn't think of the word. Social media. my social media accounts. Some weird things going on. I think I've got some bot accounts that are coming after me. I don't know. It's very strange. It's very strange. But then again, when you tend to run your mouth the way that I do, you tend to get some pretty crazy people that come back on you. Of course, anything that I post, it's like there's zero interaction with anybody anymore, and that's the shadow banning. I get that, but it's been feeding me some weird things, and then there's just some other things going on, man. Just weird stuff. As I find out more, I will let you guys know. But I'm not saying that. Oh, look, I'm a targeted individual. No, I'm not going to say that. But I do believe that there are people out there that are paid to watch certain people's accounts. Send them messages, send them emails, interact with them, just to screw with them. I've gotten that. I've gotten a couple of them where it's just they don't smell right. Especially on Twitter. I used to get them on Twitter all the time. They kind of slowed down, but they used to get them on Twitter where they would just kind of send you a message, and they would actually talk to you and interact with you, and you would kind of follow them around, and see the things that they're talking about, and you find out that it's not. They just don't seem real. It just seems like it's all they ever do is just repost what other people say, and there's no real life to them. And the messages they send you seem very generic, and you just start kind of thinking, what is this? This isn't a human being I'm talking to. And if it is a human being I'm talking to, they're following a script or something. I don't know. But you get that, man. It's weird stuff. It's such a weird time to be alive. I'm going to tell you that much right now. Very weird time to be alive. So let's read Isaiah 57. I was going to continue on into something else, but I'm like, no, we don't need to continue on into anything else. I was going to start talking about something else, but no. All right, give me 10 seconds. Here's some 10 seconds of silence. Yeah, 10 seconds of silence. I'll be right back. Okay. That was, that was very weird. Must be something going on with my mic. Huh. Alright. Of course, it's entirely possible this mic might be going out. This headset might be going out. This headset's only 6 years old. Should, that's probably 8 years old. I don't even know. Anyways, we made a joke about buying a microphone set. It was Amazon, I think it was. We were shopping around and they had a microphone set for sale. It was during the Amazon the Prime Days thing that they had last week, and yeah, they had a microphone and the whole setup with the the microphone arm and everything, and I kind of joked about it, and I think Angie said something about me being professional if I were to get something like that. I don't know if I could do anything like that. Just having a headset's fine by me, but I don't know. I never get to that point. Anyways, I could go on and on about my dreams whenever I was starting YouTuber, but God had different ideas for where I was supposed to go. I'll tell you that much right now. Complete 180. All right, Isaiah 57. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace, they shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. And there's a pilcrow again, right out of the box, right on verse 3, similar to the last chapter. So in here I heard something that I knew the Bible said, I just could never find it. So here it is. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. One of the things that I have heard, I have actually asked myself, but I have heard from people that either don't believe in the Bible or are on that fence of falling away. They ask, why do people suffer? Why does God let people suffer? Why does God let good people die? Especially good people, good, just, upright people, maybe children. Why would God let children suffer cancer? And there are so many people that can come up with a million excuses. Oh, it was their time. God chose to take them. They're in a better place, and it doesn't entirely help the person on the other end, the one that had the loss. And I've seen people that will turn away from God, will rail against God, will just have so much hate and spite in their heart because they don't understand there is a reason for all of it. First of all, who says that God gave let's say a child, let's say a human, whatever. God was the one that gave them that cancer. God does all things. Yes, I get that. Absolutely. But when a child suffers from something like that, what if it's something here in this world? Something evil in this world that came against that child. And God took that child. Took that child away from the evil. Kept that child away from the evil that was coming upon this earth. Took that child to a better place. All children get into heaven. All children will find their place at the side of God. I don't know what the age cutoff is, and we're not even going to speculate what that is. But abortions, stillborns, miscarriages, any of that, those children are sitting beside God. They will be sitting beside God. They will have their place in the next life. That is what the Bible promises us. For those people that suffer some great tragedy, again, what if it's like Job? It's that test to see how truly humble you can be. Who says when God took Job's family, because he pretty much killed off Job's entire family, he pretty much killed everybody, and it wasn't even God, it was Satan. God gave Satan the ability. He said, you can do whatever you want to against Job. You can do whatever you want to against him, just as long as you don't affect Job, directly. You can't do anything against him, but you can see how much you can tear him down, but he will still be there. Who says whenever Satan killed Job's family, took them away from him, who says that God didn't take care of them in the end? Who says when a loved one that you have dies, that God's not taking care of them, that they are not being taken to a better place for a better reason? I had a problem with. I had a friend. He died really young, 21. Just had a kid. Died really tragically, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why God at the time. I didn't understand why God would let that happen to him. And this guy, apparently, I went back down to Florida, where I used to live, and I was talking to his parents. I was talking to his family. He had found this girl. I think it was in the church. I'm not really sure. I didn't get the full story. I didn't even get to talk to his wife while I was there. We never really got to meet. It was somebody that I never knew, and apparently she turned his entire life around. I thought it was really interesting. He was one of those that like to go out and party and do things, and from what I understood, he met her possibly in a church. And he started going to church, started changing his life. Apparently having that kid was the best thing that ever happened to him. You know, it really, truly changed everything. But he died suddenly, very suddenly. And it was really, really a shock, just out of the blue. And I'd never understood it. And I remember several times just being outside in the place that I used to live, just shouting into the skies, how could you do this? How could you let this happen? A guy that was turning his life around, just had a kid, just got married, was in the prime of his life. Why? Especially when it was somebody like me. I had nothing. I was a nobody. I was living by myself with the most evil and impure thoughts going through my mind. I was in a bad place. I really was. Slowly falling down the hole. Really slowly falling down the hole. I think if I would have kept going down that way, I probably would have killed myself. I have no idea. But just asking why would you do this? What sense is there in doing that? Now I look back on it and I see that God had a reason. It wasn't just to take him away from the pain of this world, because apparently he was going through some serious pain. He had a couple slipped discs in his back and he was really hurting, and he had put on a lot of weight because he wasn't able to walk as well as he used to be, or as well as he used to, and he was slipping as well. It wasn't just to take him away from the pain. It wasn't a cold, dark bitterness of taking him away from his family, in order to hurt them. God took him to take him away. God took him away from this world for what was to come. And again, this is very early. This is like late 2000. Think about what has happened since then. That's 22 years of everything. Even the non-conspiracy minded people could think 22 years of stuff that has happened. The conspiracy minded people will say, oh my God, 22 years is, we've just seen everything, the nightmare of this world. 22 years. Holy shit. That's just, it's crazy. God took him for a reason. From God taking him, two people have absolutely been saved from whatever nightmare's coming. The first was let's do three. The first was his wife and his son. His wife and his son, they've found a better place. His son has actually grown up. He's grown up nice and strong. And, he's doing pretty good from what I understand. My mom tells me, she keeps hearing the updates of where he is and what he's doing, and they're doing pretty good. They were able to move on with their lives, and apparently, they're doing all right. But the one other person that was saved, well, actually, you could talk about his family too. Holy smokes. His parents, um, his parents completely changed their life too. So did his sister. So they were all overweight. I'll be honest. His mom was always, a big woman. They all changed their life after that. They all got healthy. I don't know if it was a surgery or what it was, but they all decided to change their lives. They all lost tons of weight. Um, they all started exercising, doing right. His sister got married. I think she has like 2 kids now. His mom adopted another kid. Um, I don't know much about that. I haven't talked to them in so long. They moved out of Florida back to where they originally came from, and they are doing great. That it was a life-changing event for them. They came out better, and I'm not saying he was the worst person in the world. That his dying changed everything. It's not like it's a wonderful life moment where it would be better with him not around. It sparked something in them to change their lives. It sparked something in me to change my life, set me on a path. That was the other life that was saved my life, because I was at the bottom. I was at the bottom and I was sinking fast. I look at old notes and journals and things that I was making at the time, and I was in a really deep down dark place. I really truly was. And it lifted me up out of that place and put me on another path. Changed us. Changed all of us. Anyone that really were a part of his life, it changed us. Some people, some people will say, well, when I had, X, or whenever I had such and such brother, sister, father, mother, whatever, die on me, it didn't change me. It didn't change my path. It made me worse. Everything fell apart. Everything did that. And yes, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. And to that, I still say there's still a reason. Maybe there's still something that you haven't found yet. I don't know. That's something maybe you need to stop and talk to God about. But I can tell you this much right now, as far as my friend is concerned. He was pulled out of this. He was spared the evils of what's coming. Maybe somewhere God is preparing him to be a soldier in the fight that's coming. The Bible says that it is the saints that will be riding beside Christ when he comes back in order to fight the evil that's on this world. Maybe that's part of it. I really don't know. And there are so many people, and I know it's an empty saying when somebody has just lost somebody. Just say, well, they're in a better place. At least they're out of pain. It's so empty and hollow, because you're going through so much grief and so much misery. And for somebody just to come up and say that, you're just like, dude, just go away. I don't want to hear that. I just lost somebody. That means nothing to me. But right here, Merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. The righteous is taken away for the evil to come. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. There is a peace that these people have, that they will have. When the righteous perish, they will enter into a peace. They are taken away from the evil to come. Perfect example. Let me, give me a second here. I got the nose flowing today. I'm feeling good. Whew, man. Perfect example of a righteous man being taken away for the evil to come, to be prepared for the evil to come. And I've thought about this over the past couple months. We lost Rob Skiba last year, and anyone that has followed him knows that he was a very righteous man. He was a very good, helpful man. I wish I would have been able to meet him, just tell him thank you. But I only was able to know him through videos, to know him through his talks, to know the good that he has brought about the world. And when he passed, one of the first things that I thought, and actually some other people thought too, was that he was taken for a reason. And one of those reasons could possibly be that he is being prepared for the fight that's coming. That there's something coming, something big. He will be part of that army that will be coming. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds good on paper. But that's been a thought. That's been a thought that's been in my head. He's being prepared. He's getting ready. Whatever is going on, it's going to be he's definitely going to be one of the saints. It's going to be a part of it. And I knew it was in the Bible somewhere where it says that the righteous are taken away from the evil to come, that they find a place of peace. They find a good place where they can be. There is no misery and pain for them. There may be misery and pain for us, but God wipes away our tears, that he will help us through it. He will help us see through it, that we can take that loss and become better. Or we don't. Some people don't. Again, I could have gone either way, but God knew that I was going to come out better on this end for whatever reason. Yet again, I still don't proclaim to know why God brought me to this point. I still have things to do, but he wanted to make sure that I got to that point, that I got to this point. And part of that, sadly, was having my best friend die. And I know that he's in a better place. He didn't have to suffer through all this, because there is a lot to suffer through. And then one of these days I'll get to see him in the end. One of these days I'll definitely get to see him in the end. Anyways, let's keep going. He shall enter into peace, they shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. God doesn't just do these things because God is cruel and God is evil and God is wicked. God does these things because he has a plan. He has a concept of the way this world is going to go. These things happen for a reason. He's already seen the end. He knows how this ends. And he tells you, if you want to see your loved ones again, be a part of their world again, be a part of something far better than this, you have a choice. That's the best way I can say it. You have the ability to be able to change your life for the better so that you won't fall into the pits of destruction. It's the best way I can say it. It's the best way the Bible says it. Verse 3. But draw near hither, ye sons of the sorceress, the seed of the adulterer and the whore. Against whom do ye sport yourselves? Against whom make ye a wide mouth, and draw out the tongue? Are ye not children of transgression, a seed of falsehood, inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree, slaying the children in the valleys under the clefts of the rocks? Among the smooth stones of the stream is thy portion. They are thy lots. Even to them hast thou poured a drink offering. Thou hast offered a meat offering. Should I receive comfort in these? Upon a lofty and high mountain hast thou set thy bed. Even thither wentest thou up to offer sacrifice. Behind the doors also, and the posts, hast thou set up thy remembrance. For thou hast discovered thyself to another than me, and art gone up. Thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with them. Thou lovest their bed where thou sawest it. And thou wentest to the king with ointment, and didst increase thy perfumes, and didst send thy messengers far off, and didst debase thyself, even unto hell. Thou art wearied in the greatness of thy way. Yet saidest thou not, there is no hope. Thou hast found the life of thine hand. Therefore thou wast not grieved. And of whom hast thou been afraid or feared, that thou hast lied, and hast not remembered me, nor laid it to thy heart? Have not I held my peace even of old, and thou fearest me not? I will declare thy righteousness, and thy works, for they shall not profit thee. Now that's a big, long chunk that we have to try to get through here. There was some interesting stuff, though, I'll tell you what. Going back up to verse 3. But draw near hither, ye sons of the sorceress. I gotta look up that word, just to see what it means. The sons of the sorceress. To practice soothsaying, conjure, to observe times, soothsayer. To practice magic, fortune teller, soothsayer, enchanter, sorceress. Huh. But draw near hither, ye sons of the sorceress, the seed of the adulterer and the whore. Against whom do ye sport yourselves? Against whom make ye a wide mouth and draw out the tongue? Now, I've heard many people pull this one out, and I absolutely agree. One of the things that we have seen a lot over the past couple years has been this this mocking tongue. Of course, Jim Carrey made a joke about it on what was it, Jimmy Kimmel? He made the joke about the all mocking tongue, where he put his hands into a pyramid and put them over his mouth and then pushed his tongue out, and made a whole thing of like it's a big conspiracy and all this stuff, and made a joke about it. But it's a thing now. I do absolutely think that it is Shiva, 100%. When Shiva's dancing and she sticks out the tongue, and you're seeing that on TikTok and Instagram and all these little girls that are taking these pictures with their tongues hanging out, and you're just like, that's that spirit. That's that mocking spirit. That's in the Bible. Somebody pointed that out to me a while back, and I was like, wow. Against whom do ye sport yourselves? Even going back, but draw nether, ye sons of the sorceress, the seed of the adulterer and the whore. Now, I don't know much about Shiva, but I would put good money on it that the goddess Shiva is probably similar to Diana in Colombia in certain aspects, where they are probably sorceresses. They are probably witches. They're probably, there's probably statues of Diana and Colombia out there that probably have their tongues out too. There's probably something to it. There's, we talk about the connections between these gods and the similarities. And I bet you there's something to it. This is the Bible yet again, calling out very specific gods. They're not calling it out by name, but this is one of those places where the Bible is saying, hey, this is one of those, and they're opening their mouth wide and drawing out the tongue. This isn't just about speaking out of turn or, speaking too loudly. This is a very specific Bible verse that is pointing to something that is happening right now that we need to look at. I wonder if there's a Bible verse about the leaking of the nose. All right. Against whom make ye a wide mouth and draw out the tongue? Are ye not children of transgression, a seed of falsehood? I'll tell you what, every single one of those girls that you see in those pictures sticking out their tongues, that are just acting like little whores and little sluts, and they're just growing up in this whole hookup culture thing and this whole society of wickedness and evil, and you just see it growing more and more and more. And again, I say evil just snowballs. It continually snowballs and gets worse and worse, and nobody is stopping it. Everybody's just letting it go because everybody is, I've said it before, that everybody's trying to find that common ground where we're not trying to offend anybody anymore. We're trying to find a common ground where the Christians can live with the evil in society, and that is exactly not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to call it out, and then we're supposed to put it out. Put out evil from this world. But somewhere along the line, somebody has lied to you, Christians, and has told you, hey, you're supposed to just turn the other cheek and let it happen, even though that is not what that means. Inflaming yourselves with idols. every here we go again. Inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree, slaying the children in the valleys under the cliffs of the rocks. Child sacrifice. Oh, child sacrifice isn't real. Whatever, man. The Bible constantly. I mean, okay, so this is, don't take it literally. Slaying the children in the valleys under the cliffs. Don't take it literally. We're talking about drawing out the tongues, children of transgression, seed of falsehood, slaying the children, setting the children against God, having them fall away. You don't want to take it literally, fine. Don't take it literally. That's talking about separating children from God. I'm taking it literally. Inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree. Boy, there's another one about having trees. Inflaming yourself with idols under every green tree. We could talk about Christmas. I'm not gonna get into it. Slaying the children in the valleys under the cliffs of the rocks. That's child sacrifice. It's always been there. They've been sacrificing children to their gods for years, and you've just let it happen. Among the smooth stones of the stream is thy portion. They are thy lot. Even to them hast thou poured a drink offering. Thou hast offered a meat offering. Should I receive comfort in these? I don't even like it anymore when somebody dies and you pour some drink on the dirt, and you're like, you pour the bottle on dirt, say, here you go, here's a drink for you. And I see that now and I think, that's what that is. The Bible talks about making drink offerings to the dead. That's what that is. You're making a drink offering to the dead. You think it's a symbolic gesture of giving your dead friend a one last drink, and I've done it myself. And I see it now and I think, no, there's a spiritual aspect to it. Everything we do has a spiritual aspect to it. Everything we do has a spiritual aspect to it. Most times that spiritual aspect is a very bad thing. We have to watch what we're doing now. Everything is suspect. Everything is suspect. Upon a lofty and high mountain hast thou set thy bed. Even thither wentest thou up to offer sacrifice, because they sacrificed them up in the groves of the hills. That's what it always says. Upon a lofty and high mountain hast thou set thy bed, hast thou made thy house. Think about all the houses in Hollywood. Everything has a spiritual aspect to it. Behind the doors also, and the posts hast thou set up thy remembrance. Behind the doors also, and the posts hast thou set up thy remembrance. For thou hast discovered thyself to another than me, and art gone up. Thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with them. Thou lovest their bed where thou sawest it. Now I got like 20 different things running through my head right now about that. Behind the doors also and the posts hast thou set up thy remembrance. Behind the doors and the posts in secret hast thou set up thy remembrance. This is just what I'm pulling from it. For thou hast discovered thyself to another than me, to another God than me, and has gone up. You found another God, and you went up to those high places, behind the doors, where you keep them in secret. Thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with them. You are sleeping with devils. Thou hast enlarged thy bed, that thou hast made thy place of sleeping. That, let's go ahead and look at it. I got it right here. couch, the place of lying down, sleeping. Have you heard of these people that have talked about, well, we can talk about sex magic. We don't even have to talk about the whack jobs that are having sex with ghosts or sex with demons. I mean, there are people that are out there right now that are saying, yes, I have sex with a demon. That's a actual thing that's happening right now. But it's a sex magic too. Thou hast enlarged thy bed. Thou hast found, what was it at again? Thou hast discovered thyself to another than me, and art gone up. Thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with them. Thou lovest their bed, where thou sawest it. Do we need to talk about Anton LaVey and I can never remember his name. The guy that the aircraft designer. It wasn't Lockheed Martin, was it? It was oh, come on now. I did a whole video on him several years back talking about the Babylon working and the rituals, sex rituals that they used to do out in the deserts. Probably where they decided to make Area 51. I don't think Area 51 is for flying saucers or for testing ships or anything like that. I think that is a portal. I think they found a portal in the desert and they built a top secret base right on top of it. And they've been doing experiments. They've been doing experiments into interdimensional portals, pulling devils out of the world, pulling demons out of the world. This is stuff. This is still Google. You can still Google that stuff. I cannot remember his name. Watch me here. I'll even look it up too. Babylon working. It's like on Wikipedia, for crying out loud. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Excuse me. Wikipedia. Here you go. You ready for it? Wikipedia. Babylon working. Babylon working was a series of magic ceremonies of rituals performed from January to March 1946 by author, pioneer rocket fuel scientist, and occultist Jack Parsons. That was the guy. And Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Okay, so it was L. Ron Hubbard. But that was the ritual was essentially designed to manifest an individual incarnation of the archetypal divine feminine called Babylon. The project was based on the ideas of Aleister Crowley and his description of a similar project in his 1917 novel Moonchild. I was wrong. It was not Anton LaVey. It was Aleister Crowley. You'll have to forgive me. But it's there. This is Wikipedia, guys. This is Wikipedia. It's right here. These people aren't hiding this. It's right there. Rituals of the working. Soon Parsons began the next stage of the series, an attempt to conceive a child through sex magic workings. Although no child was conceived. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So let's take everything that we just read. Ye sons of the sorceress, the seed of the adulterer and the whore, against whom ye made a wide mouth and drawing out tongue, are ye not a child of transgression, a seed of falsehood, inflaming yourselves with idols under every green tree, slaying the children in the valleys, pouring the drink offerings. I'm sure this is all the rituals. I could probably get into details, but we're not getting into details. Upon a high and lofty mountain hast thou set thy bed. Even thither wentest thou up to offer sacrifice. Behind the doors and also the posts thou set up a remembrance. Thou hast enlarged thy bed, and made thee a covenant with them. Thou lovest their bed where thou sawest it. That is sex magic and rituals that these people did out in the deserts. in 1946. I'm not playing around here anymore, man. This is this is serious, legitimate stuff. This isn't like, oh, we're just kind of making this stuff up and we're going on here. Oh, look, Babylon, also known as the Scarlet Woman. This is Wikipedia. I'm not making this up. Known as the Scarlet Woman, Great Mother, or Mother of Abominations, is a goddess found in the occult system of Thelema, which was established in 1904 with the writing of the Book of the Law by English author and occultist Aleister Crowley. The Scarlet Woman, the woman that rides the beast that comes up out of the sea. The woman clothed in scarlet. It's the mother of abominations. Where are we at here? Ye sons of the sorceress, the seed of the adulterer and the whore. This is the same woman. It's the same thing. The one with the wide mouth, drawing out the tongue, the mocking tongue. I can't, we can make all the connections that we want to here. That's the same stuff, guys. It's the same stuff. This is your Bible pointing this stuff out, word for word for word. It's not using, they're going out you're having sex magic out in the, forest with goddesses and their mocking tongues or anything. No. But as you read it and you look at the things that have happened over the past however many years, and you can see these things pop out, and you ask the Father, you ask God to help you decode this stuff, decipher this stuff, to figure this stuff out, and you're just like, holy crap. It's been there right in front of our faces the entire time, and there's so many preachers that I know that they will just skim right through this. They will just pop right over this stuff, and they will just say, well, see, these people were back in the day, they were doing all this stuff, and they were doing all this. No, this has to do with what's going on right now. Things that have happened now and are still happening now. Bible's not just a history book. It's a prophetic warning. It tells you over and over again, these are the things to watch out for, because these are the things that these people do. It's evil and satanic, and it keeps sitting there. And the only way to get rid of it is to stop it, is to force it out, to pull it into the open. This is darkness on every level possible. And it's always been there. And we are now starting to see it more and more and more. The veil is lifting. I've already said the veil is lifted. It's just that now our eyes are becoming unclouded. The books are being opened. They told who was it? Was it Daniel? That was told to keep the books closed until a certain time. And when it comes time to open the books, and once you open those books, once you open those floodgates, then everything will be seen, everything will be opened, everything will be revealed. We're there. We're there. We're starting to see it, and it's out in the open now. And there are so many that are just so blinded to it because they choose to live in this world. They choose to live in their own unrighteousness. They want to live in this place. They don't want to see any place else because they think that this is their best life. And I'm so sick and tired of that line. I'm living the best life I can. No, you're not. You're living a shit life. Your best life comes after this. God has offered you the best life possible. But you're not taking it because you think this is the only thing you've got, because you've been brainwashed and conditioned into thinking that there is nothing else after this. You've been brainwashed into thinking that you're just a tiny speck of nothing, that you came from nothing, and when you die, you're just going to go back into nothing. And that's all you're ever going to be. That's your brainwashing. You have to get over that. There is something better than this world. God shows you. God shows you every step of the way. There's a better way, better place for us. We got to keep going. I've been talking about a lot of other stuff. I'm just burning time now. Where are we at here? Verse 9. And thou wentest to the king with ointments, and didst increase thy perfumes, and didst send thy messengers far off, and didst debase thyself, even unto hell. Thou art wearied in the greatness of thy way. Yet saidst thou not, there is no hope. Thou hast found the life of thine hand. Therefore thou wast not grieved. Thou art wearied in the greatness of thy way. Yet saidst thou not, there is no hope. Thou hast found the life of thine hand. Therefore thou wast not grieved. Thou hast found the life of thine hand. You have not found anything of God. You have found the life only of yourself. This is your best life. I just said that, didn't I? Your best life that you have here that is made by your hands. You have found the life of your hand. Therefore thou wast not grieved. You're not worried about what comes next. You're not worried about anything else because you think your life here is fine and you want to keep it. And people have been doing their damnedest to keep everything that they can. It's so scared of dying. So scared of dying that they're willing to give up living. Something I've been saying for the past 2 years. And of whom hast thou been afraid or feared that thou hast lied, and hast not remembered me, nor laid it to thy heart? Have not I held my peace even of old, and thou fearest me not? You're living your best life, lying to yourself that this is your best life, lying to yourself, telling yourself, God will forgive me for living this craptastic evil ways that I have. God will forgive me for saying this is my best life. I have nothing better than this. God will forgive me for not remembering him, laying it in my heart, lying to myself about it. I don't fear anyone because this is my best life and I'm going to live it however I want to. That's what the Bible's saying. I'm just reading it. I know so many people can interpret it any way they want to. This is just the way I'm interpreting it. This is just the message that I'm getting today. I will declare thy righteousness and thy works, for they shall not profit thee. I will declare thy righteousness and thy works. The works that are only good for you, your self-righteousness, your self-works, the things that you do for yourself that are not going to do you any good. Everything is vanity. We get to Jeremiah and it's just like, it says it like 20 times within like 2 verses. Everything is vanity. Everything man does is vain. It's for themselves, self-righteous, self-adulation, self-whatever. It's only for them. It's not for anybody else. It doesn't profit anybody. It's all for them. The things that they have done. They've gone out and made their ways and built their houses and all this other kind of stuff in the high places, and they do not fear God. They lie to themselves because they say that God has no place here. That this is everything I do is for my own self-righteousness, my own worth. That he will forgive me for what I am doing. That there is none better. Do you see it? Do you see all of the, I mean, it's just constantly there. It's just constantly there. And every time we read these, it just blows my mind. It's just how these, especially the latter parts of Isaiah. I mean, the stuff in the beginning, we were pointing out and we were saying, this is this is this, this is that. And in the middle of it, there was a thing where, we were talking about very specific people and places, and it was kind of getting a little muddied. But since, what do you want to say about Isaiah 40 something, 46, 47, we have started getting very specific about the end of days. And we're starting to hit this. It's either because history repeats itself constantly, or it's because this is a warning to us, directly to us. The Bible is warning us directly. I don't know. That's for you to decide. I have my own opinions on it. But this is absolutely a warning, telling us word for word, these are the people that are going to be here. There is nothing new under the sun. That this is what you're looking out for. This is the evil that you need to put out of your life. But it's still there. And it's calling out people directly. Those people that don't fear, that aren't afraid of God, have not remembered God, have not laid it in their hearts, that have lied to themselves about it. And he will declare their righteousness and their works, and they shall not profit thee. It's a beautiful book. I love this book. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. What's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. He is hilarious. There are some things that he says. I want to say Lee. No, not Lee. Oh God, I can't remember. There are some things that he says that just are not, I don't agree with 100%, but some of the things that he says, it's just funny. I get on to him every now and then on BitChute. Every now and then I'll come against him, just like listen to him and just, what is his name? It's a black guy. Oh, I'll think of it here in a second. Watch me get through this, and I'll think of it here in a second. We got to keep going anyways, because it's just 7 o'clock. All right, verse 13. When thou criest, let thy companies deliver thee, but the wind shall carry them all away. Vanity shall take them. But he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the land, and shall inherit my holy mountain, and shall say, Cast ye up, prepare the way, take up the stumbling block out of the way of my people. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabited in... Okay, wait, let me try this again. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth in eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirits of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. For I will not contend forever, neither will I be always wroth. For the spirit should fail before me, in the souls which I have made. And for the iniquity of his covetousness was I wroth, and smote him. I hid him, and was wroth. And he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. I have seen his ways, and will heal him. I will lead him also, and restore comforts unto him, and to his mourners. I create the fruit of his lips. Peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith the Lord. And I will heal him. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked. All right, let's go through this one again quickly. When thou criest, let thy companies, this is verse 13 again. When thou criest, let thy companies deliver thee. But the wind shall carry them all away, vanity shall take them. But he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the land, and shall inherit my holy mountain. When thou criest, let thy companies deliver thee. But the wind shall carry them all away, vanity shall take them away. When you have a problem, let your people come deliver you. For they will be carried away, vanity shall take them. All your people, everything that they do is all worthless. It will not profit you whatsoever. But he that putteth his trust in me shall possess the land, and shall inherit my holy mountain. And shall say, cast ye up, prepare the way, take up the stumbling block out of the way of my people. Who puts the stumbling block there? The stumbling block, the traps, the snares, the evil men of this world. Those evil men in charge. Now, we have read it over and over again. It's the princes, the people in power. Those evil ones that are in power, that create the stumbling blocks, create the traps, create the snares. Over and over again, we've read that. You cannot put your faith in man. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the hearts of the contrite ones. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit. We have to be humble. For I will not contend forever, neither will I be always wroth. For the spirit should fail before me in the souls which I have made. For the iniquity of his covetousness was I wroth, and smote him. I hid me, and was wroth. And he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. I have seen his ways, and will heal him. I will lead him also, and restore comforts unto him, and to his mourners. Let's go back for a second. For I will not contend forever, neither will I always be wroth. For the spirit should fail before me, and the souls which I have made. For I will not contend forever. I will not rail against you forever, and I will not always be evil against you either. For the iniquity of his covetousness was I wroth, and smote him. I hid me, and was wroth, and he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. For the iniquity of his covetousness I was mad at him, and smote him. And then whenever I pulled back, I was still wroth at him, but he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. Man will always go in the way of his heart. And the Bible says over and over again, do not trust your heart. Everybody says, follow your heart, follow your instincts, follow your heart, follow what your heart tells you to do. God knows my heart. He knows what I do in my heart is worth it. That there's no bad in me. He knows my heart. He knows that, even if I celebrate a pagan holiday to a pagan god, even though I follow pagan rituals to a pagan god, he knows my heart. He knows what I'm thinking. And yet over and over again, the Bible constantly says, God knows men's hearts. And he knows that they are full of wickedness and deception. That men follow their hearts to their own destruction. It says it over and over again. So we're not to follow our hearts. Our hearts can lead us astray. We follow the Word of God. Follow what He wants for us. anything else than that is vanity. You're following your own heart. You're following yourself. Well, we just talked about this in the I will declare thy righteousness and thy works. Thou art wearied in the greatness of thy way, that thou winnest to kings. No, that's not it. Where's the for thou hast discovered thyself to another than me, and art gone up. Thou lovest a bed. Where was it at? And of whom thou hast been afraid or feared, that thou hast lied, and hast not remembered me, nor laid it to my heart. Have not I held my peace even of old? And thou fearest me not. Where is the one? I lost it. I am not finding it. Anyways. It's still about following your heart. Everything your heart. I'm not finding it. Maybe I was thinking about something else. It might have been what it was. I was thinking about something else, and it's gone now. God constantly tells us not to follow our hearts. Our hearts can lead us to destruction. That they are full of evil and dirty thoughts. God or Christ talked about it is the things that go into a man cannot corrupt a man. Is the things that come out of a man's heart that can corrupt a man. When he comes into our lives and saves us, he gives us a new heart. He comes into our heart. He writes his law onto our heart to change it. To change our heart. One of the things I've been hearing, and I haven't really followed too much of it, but these people that have transplants, kidney transplants and, organ donors and stuff, especially the heart transplants, they are finding that if somebody gets a heart transplant, that the person that gets the heart starts changing, starts becoming so much like the person that, donated the heart, that they are thinking now, maybe our mind isn't where our essence is. They talk about the mind being where everything we are is. Our thoughts, our understanding, everything that we are, our memories, everything. But they're finding that these people that have heart transplants are able to remember things that the donors used to know, as if the heart stores memories too. It's a very, very strange thing. And I don't know if it's true or not. Again, I've only seen a couple of different documentaries, a couple different things about it. It might be something to look into today. But it's enough to ask that question. Is that another thing that the Bible knows that we don't know? We talk about it all the time, how, the Bible says, certain things about something, and it tends to make more sense when you find out that this thing is actually happening in the real world. Maybe that's something to it. Maybe our heart is the essence of who we are. Maybe that's why God said that he changes our heart. That we're not supposed to follow our heart. Because everything we do is vanity. When he saves us, changes us, writes the law onto our hearts, that's when we change. Maybe there's something to that. I'm sure there's probably a better way for me to explain it, but I mean, maybe there's something more to it. I don't know. It's an interesting concept. But that was, I hid me and was wroth, and he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. As following his heart. Don't ever follow your heart. That is not what God wants you to do. He tells you this over and over again. But this world tells you to follow your heart. Follow what you think is right. Follow what you think is best. Do whatever it is for you. Don't listen to anybody else. Do you. I heard that we were watching Bob's Burgers last night, and they were talking to one of the guys, and they were saying, do you. Do whatever it is that you do, and do it the way you want to do it, and don't let anybody else ever tell you otherwise. And it just stuck in my craw for some reason. I didn't like it. It was just like, just it. That's how you get people that are walking around being so egotistical, is to tell them to just do what you do and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. That's how standards drop. That's how you get into situations like we have now. This is why the food tastes so bad. This is why things break so much faster than they do. Because standards drop. Because people are doing what they want to do. The more that you do what you want to do, the less that the whole works. The less that the whole is able to stay afloat, because everybody's out doing it for themselves. They're not thinking about doing anything for anybody else. And you wind up having this very egotistical world where this leads back to the pictures of the little kids, the teenage girls that are out there taking pictures of themselves, taking 40, 50 pictures of themselves with their tongues hanging out because they're egotistical maniacs. This is what it is. Your Bible's talking to you. You gotta listen to it. Your Bible's talking to you. Verse 18, I have seen his ways, and will heal him. I will lead him also, and restore comforts unto him, and to his mourners. God always wants you to come back. If you wish to come back, he will open his arms to you, and you will come back. He what was it again? For the iniquity of his covetousness I was wroth, and smote him. And then he let him go, and he went frowardly in his heart. I have seen his ways, and I will heal him. I will lead him also, and restore comforts unto him and to his mourners. If there was in any two lines that describes what God did for me, he didn't like the way I was going. And then he let me go. He didn't like the way I was going. Did something in my life that changed me forever. And let me go find the things that I wanted to go find. And then he brought me back. He said, I will heal you. I will bring you back. I have shown you. I've taken you to the lowest point you could possibly be at, so that you can see what it's like. Then I have brought you to the highest point that you could be at, so that you can see the best that you can have. And then I will show you the truth. And he showed me the truth. And he healed me. He fixed me. He pulled me to a better place. If there were any two lines that I could enjoy and understand, those are it right there. 19. I create the fruit of his lips. Peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith the Lord, and I will heal him. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked. And we have seen that. We saw that. Oh, man, I can't remember exactly where we saw it. several chapters back. I know we did because I used that line for the 48. It's right there. I used that line for the subject title for the video. There is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked. There's a lot of learning going on in there. Wow. And I'm running behind. Seriously, though. We're seeing it over and over again. These symbols, these ideas, these concepts that for a long time they were hidden. They were hidden in the shadows, hidden in the darkness. We didn't understand. It's not Shiva. Who is it then? I'm looking up to see if I can find it where it's the mocking tongue. Let's see if I can do that. But we're seeing these things. We're seeing these. They've been there for years upon years upon years, and we are now understanding that it's been there forever. And the more I see, and the more I understand, the more it just blows my mind. The more I just think, I had to wake up at this point. You know? I had to, I had to be able to see it at this place in my life. I never could have saw it, 10, 20 years ago. It never would have been a thing. It's only now, whenever I could really understand it, when I had to go through everything I went through. This is God's plan. And I still don't 100% know why He has me wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to come in here every day to read the book, to go through these things, to talk about this. But there's still something to it, man. I don't know what it is yet. Kali, there it is. The goddess Kali. I couldn't remember her name. The goddess Kali with the tongue. The all-mocking tongue. Yes, I was thinking of Shiva, but they basically look exactly the same, let's be honest. I do have to wonder why there is an image of her. Let's see if I can find this. Let's see if we can do this real quick before I gotta stop. Why the goddess Kali has severed heads. Why? I have to know. As the divine mother, mother of the universe, could this be the mother of abominations? Maybe. Goddess of war, anger, time, change, creation, destruction, and power. Yep. That sounds about right to me. This is the same old, man. Same old. I'm just saying, this is, and she brings destruction. The goddess in scarlet. Now this one is, she's not wearing anything red, but that doesn't matter. It's describes Kali as possessing a soothing, dark complexion, as perfectly beautiful, riding a lion, four-armed, holding a sword and blue lotus with her right hands in some kind of posture, her hair unrestrained, body firm and youthful. In the 10-armed form, she's depicted as shining like a blue stone, has 10 faces. Is that like 10 horns? 10 feet and 3 eyes for each head. Interesting. Interesting. There is no association with Shiva. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. A lot of interesting stuff here. I'm looking though. Why does these hands holding a sword and a severed head? I'm just wondering why it is. She wears a garland of human heads. There it is. Variously enumerated at 108, an auspicious number in Hinduism, and the number of countable beads on a rosary. Okay. Or 51. We've seen the 51 before. 5-1, that's the May Day, which represents. But I am not even going to try to pronounce these names. Stein is which is the letters from for she's generally seen as the mother of language. Seen as the mother of language in all mantras. Okay. This is interesting stuff. Yet again, though, what did it say? Are ye not? Wait. Against whom make ye a wide mouth and draw out the tongue? Are ye not children of transgression, a seed of falsehood? Ye sons of the sorceress, the seed of the adulterer and the whore. The scarlet whore that rides the beast. There's something to it. I'm just saying it may not be directly there. You may look at it and you just may think, oh no, it's not there. These people are, they're talking about something else completely different. Even though it's interesting that Shiva is the destroyer, the destroyer god, and yet, that has nothing to do with Kali. Kali and Shiva are two different people. Don't worry about it. It's just that they're both blue with multiple arms. They're both destroyers. Don't put it together. Don't try to look at it in any other way. Don't make any references back to any biblical gods whatsoever, because they're not. It means nothing. You have no idea what you're talking about. Right. Oleograph by somebody depicting a Shiva-centric, I don't know what the hell that means. A bearded Shiva sits in the center with his wife, Parvati, who is wearing red, by the way, and their infant son, Ganesha, who is an elephant. Of course, it's an elephant, because there is some kind of weird radioactive thing going on in India. I've kind of half talked about this before, about and I don't even know if that's what this is or not, but the supposed nuclear wars that happened in the books that they found in India. They talk about the great airships. They talk about the wars, the bombs that, could blow up entire cities. Very interesting stuff. And then you start getting all these weird mutations. These kids that are growing, come out with like 4 arms and all these weird things. And sure enough, half of these gods that they worship, multiple arms, multiple heads. Some of them look like elephants. Some of them look like other things. There's something going on there. I don't know what it is, and I'm not even going to speculate what it is. I just find it very interesting that there is all these gods talk about the same things. It's a gigantic lighted temple. Maha something festival is observed at night. Usually in lighted temples are a special prabha. And it's basically a temple with a bunch of ropes around it. Looks just like a Mayday pole. Again, you see these things and people may say, oh, it means nothing. You're looking too far into it. This doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. And, you know, all right. If you want to think that, that's cool. You know, you can not think that all you want. But I've been looking at this stuff for way too long. And I can see the connections. I can see why, you know, this looks like this. This looks like that. Why that numerology is like this. Other people have done it better, way better than I can. But I can see it. It's right on the surface. And you're just like, why is it that there's they're talking about the number 51 being so important to them, and they have a festival where there's a giant temple where it looks like it's a bunch of ropes hung from it, and yet the same exact thing you see is a Mayday pole where they have a bunch of ropes tied to a pole. Now, surely they dance and they wrap the pole because it's the wrapping of the penis of Osiris. That's not what they call it. They call it something else, but that's exactly what it is. It's the wrapping of a penis of Osiris. I participated in a Mayday festival when I was a kid. We thought it was just some cool little German dance. No, that was a ritual. We've been lied to way too long, man. Way too long. Come out of this. Come out of this evil world. Expose it for what it is. You have to come out of this evil world. It's too much. It's too much. All right, I'm gonna stop. God bless every one of you. Take care of yourselves. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, and I know I'm not the best person to say, hey, this is this is that, I've never been that good, and I'm not that learned, but I'm telling you, man, you see it more and more and more. Every time I see these things, I'm like, this looks like this. This looks like that. And these are people that are two different parts of the world. And if you believe your own history, these people should never have coexisted with these people. And yet, they have the same exact beliefs. And we are meant to just believe that randomly on their own they both came up with the same exact gods and goddesses. It's not the case. Everybody in this world was all together at one point in time at the Tower of Babel. The multiple books talk about a gigantic tower where everybody was, and they all had to get separated from it. And when they all split away, they took all of these gods that they had. And it's like the old game of telephone, is that when you separate from it, The languages change, the words change, the names change, the gods change. Some of the gods have changed on purpose in order to hide and manipulate. Other gods and names have changed just because they changed. But they're all the same. It's all exactly the same. And our Bible keeps opening our eyes to this stuff, and we keep seeing it. So, and of course, like I said, we are constantly seeing that symbology out in the real world. We're constantly seeing this wide mouth drawing out the tongue, these children of transgression. Children of transgression drawing out the tongues. Come on, guys. Come on. It's right there in your face. Come on. Come on. You can see it. It's right there. I gotta stop. God bless. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.